Good morning and welcome to WUSA 9. Today is Wednesday. It's Hump Day, August 20th. I'm Andrea Roan.
Get out the camel. I'm Mike Heidick. Thanks for joining us. Olga Breeze in for Monica. It's been a while since we've seen that. It might be funny again if we saw it again. Yeah.
I'll bring it back.
Hey, Will. Good morning, Howard. How are you?
I'm well.
Yeah.
Big day today. My 25th
I know.
anniversary.
25 years married.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elena's a saint.
Yeah, she
is.
is.
That way. And weather-wise, we do have a threat for a couple of storms late this afternoon into the early evening, but the better chances are going to be west of D.C. Let me show you what's happening, because it's been a relatively quiet morning out there. Had an isolated shower in toward Fauquier County a little while ago. That has fallen apart. We'll see some sunshine this morning mixing with the clouds, and then as the afternoon wears on, a better chance for some thunderstorms moving in from the west by, might not be till 5, 6 o'clock in D.C. if it gets here. I think by 3, 4 o'clock we'll see them out west, Shenandoah Valley, Blue Ridge. Highs in the upper 80s today, so it's going to be a warm, humid day, and 81 by 8 with by then a leftover shower. Nationals and Diamondbacks again. They got 8 in a row now. They're going for number 9 tonight. Weather should be okay, just a little bit warm for that. Showers and storms all over Ohio and toward Pennsylvania this morning. Temperature Columbus is 77 right now, so that's helping to feed those storms. Locally, it's muggy, it's warm, with 60s and 70s. In fact, it's still 72 in Hagerstown, Fredericksburg 70, a little cooler on the eastern shore. Cambridge is 64 with Winchester and Gaithersburg at 66. So a very warm, almost hot day, humid. And this would actually be above average for a rarity this summer, with a high of 88 in D.C. and a little bit cooler on the Bay, Annapolis at 82. Monica's off, but at 4:27, Olga Breeze is the latest time-saver traffic. And usually at this hour, Olga, we're just talking about construction delays.
Yep, and that's what we have this morning. The weather's delightful, so the crews are out doing their thing, everything dry. But a couple of zones are going to slow you down if you're getting that early start this morning. First one is here is only single lane of traffic working I-95 as you head south in toward that 495 splits, so be aware of that. Again, volume this morning is fairly light, so not slowing you down too much. The second zone is actually on 395. It's headed north right after Etzel as you head in toward Duke Street, and they're taking away 2 left lanes there. So now let's take a look outside at how things are flowing in and around the Beltway. 495 at the American Legion Bridge, very light pace and a quick moving traffic there, not too bad. Over on the other side of the Beltway, we're looking right here at 270 coming southbound from Tuckerman Lane, heading into that spur, and so far it's looking fantastic. Mike, Andrea?
Chaos overnight in Ferguson, Missouri after a mostly peaceful evening of demonstrations. Despite a plea from officials for residents to stay indoors, many took to the streets once again to demand justice in the shooting death of Michael Brown.
Susan McGinnis reports from Ferguson, where Attorney General Eric Holder is expected to arrive today.
It's become a familiar scene. Overnight Wednesday, Ferguson police charged a crowd of demonstrators.
If you are not credentialed media, you need to disperse immediately.
They ordered everyone to leave the area immediately and started arresting those who didn't. The turnaround came after what started as peaceful demonstrations over the killing of Michael Brown. Some of the peaceful protesters formed a human chain between police officers in riot gear and those looking to stir up trouble. Many took to the streets with arms raised, the now familiar hands up, don't shoot stance, indicating their argument that Brown was surrendering when he was killed by white police officer Darren Wilson. St. Louis resident Carrie Chambers brought her young son with her.
We want justice. We want justice.
Calls for justice for Michael Brown have been drowned out by the chaos. In the past 2 days, county police have made more than 50 arrests, mostly of people from outside the community. Amid the tensions, Attorney General Eric Holder arrives here today to meet with FBI and other officials investigating Brown's death. In an op-ed, Holder writes, "Our investigation into this matter will be full, it will be fair, and it will be independent." A grand jury could begin hearing evidence today to determine whether Wilson should be charged in Brown's death as his family prepares to lay him to rest. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Ferguson, Missouri.
Now, Missouri Governor Jay Nixon said Tuesday that he would not seek the removal of a county prosecutor who is overseeing a separate investigation into the fatal police shooting of Brown. The prosecutor has deep connections with police. That was among the concerns. Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson has been provided legal counsel through the Fraternal Order of Police's local union office in St. Louis.
Israel pulls out of talks and the fighting resumes in Gaza. Israeli officials say several rockets fired from Gaza struck southern Israel just hours before a ceasefire extension was set to expire Tuesday, igniting airstrikes. Peace talks have reportedly made little progress. Hamas wants an end to a blockade that has ravaged Gaza's economy, while Israel wants Hamas to disarm.
Texas Governor Rick Perry turns himself in to police and is booked on felony charges. Perry was indicted on Friday, and prosecutors allege that he abused his powers by trying to force Travis County District Attorney Rosemary Lemberg to resign after she got a DUI. When she didn't step down, Perry carried out a public threat to veto millions of dollars in funding to an organization which she heads. Perry says the charges against him, though, are politically motivated.
This morning, a woman in Fairfax on business is missing. This is a picture of 43-year-old Wendy Fugi of Philadelphia. Her brother says she was last seen on the 7th of this month. Fugi works for an engineering firm, and they called her family on the 12th saying she didn't show up for work. Fugi may be driving a red Hyundai Sonata with Pennsylvania tags JKS 3697. If you've seen this woman or have any information, please call police.
A Greenbelt man is charged with murdering his ex-girlfriend. Tor Campbell is now in police custody this morning. Prince George's County Police believe he killed 36-year-old Chantel Lewis inside her home on West Forest Road early Tuesday. Lewis's mother found the body. Police say Lewis had been stabbed several times.
Also out of Prince George's County, 3-year-old Kenesha Bibb, the unintended target in the Landover shooting, will be laid to rest later today. Police are still searching for Davon Wallace in connection with her murder. A reward of up to $25,000 is being offered for information leading to his arrest. Today's funeral services at Unity Baptist Church in Northeast D.C. Kenesha would have turned 4 next month.
Day 2 for the defense in the corruption trial of Bob and Maureen McDonald delivered more damaging testimony for the former First Lady of Virginia. Bob McDonald's youngest sister, who is also named Maureen, took the stand, blasting several holes in the prosecution's corruption case.
Peggy Fox reports from Richmond with a look at the other Maureen, the strongest witness yet from the defense.
I'm glad to be here and support my brother today. Thank you all. Mo McDonald, Bob McDonald's sister, is her brother's strongest witness so far. Have a nice afternoon, guys. Mo McDonald shed new details about the problems surrounding her brother's wife, Maureen, and their marriage. Mo said communication between them was broken and that when Bob became governor, it went from bad to worse. She said she thought Maureen felt trapped as First Lady and once referred to her home, the governor's mansion, as the prison mansion.
I've had better stretches in my life. The 4 years as governor was certainly more enjoyable than sitting in federal court. But, this is the valley that God is allowing me to go through right now.
Mo is also knocking down the prosecution's claim that they were having trouble paying for those beach houses she owned with her brother. As an executive with Amerigroup, Mo made more than $500,000 in 2012, and she said she had plenty of money to cover the losses at the houses, but did not realize the bills weren't getting paid because she was dealing with a difficult pregnancy, a lengthy illness, and then her own marital difficulties. She said they took out loans, including the $70,000 from Johnny Williams, because it was a better deal financially to borrow the money than to use her own. The day ended with an accountant who testified that Bob McDonald and his sister together had $1.4 million available and that their real estate company was financially sound. That testimony shoots down the prosecution's claim that the McDonalds were in financial distress. In Richmond, Peggy Fox, WUSA 9.
It's unclear if Bob McDonald will take the stand today. An accountant was called to testify and analyze the McDonald's finances on Tuesday. He is back on the stand today for some more tough cross-examination from the prosecution.
Democrats were able to keep the 48th district in a special election for a House of Delegates seat. Richard "Rip" Sullivan beat Republican David Foster. The special election was held to fill Bob Brinks' seat in the House of Delegates because he took a post with Governor Terry McAuliffe's administration. District 48 covers parts of Arlington and McLean. And statewide, it looks like the GOP will be taking over the state legislature. Republican Ben Chafin won a special election for state senate in the 38th district. And if you're not familiar with that, it's in the far southwest corner of Virginia. That seat was abandoned by Democrat Philip Puckett, giving Republicans control of both houses. Well, now there's a federal investigation, you may remember, underway into why Puckett stepped down from that seat. Some believe it was so his daughter could be granted a judgeship by Republicans.
4:35, investors are happy to take a bite out of Apple's stock. We'll detail the tech giant's fruitful day on Wall Street. That's coming up in today's Your Money Report.
Plus, you can look forward to a dry commute this morning, but Thursday and Friday might be a different story. First alert forecast from Howard coming up next.
And we want you to become our next Facebook fan of the day. This week's winners will get to see country music superstar Miranda Lambert this Saturday at Jiffy Lube Live.
To enter, it's really easy. Go to our Facebook fan page, fill out the form, and connect your favorite Facebook picture. We're going to announce today's fan of the day in our 5:30 half hour. Good luck. We'll be right back.
Pinpointing exactly when weather will hit your neighborhood, hours before it happens. WUSA 9's First Alert Weather.
It is 4:38 on this Wednesday morning. Muggy out there, pretty quiet. We've had a stray shower overnight, but right now Doppler not showing much. I don't think that's going to be the case, though, later today when we will look at more thunderstorms, especially west and southwest of D.C. Here's our forecast today. 60s and 70s now, but a muggy 60s and 70s, another frizz alert. Warm to hot today, 85 to 89 with those afternoon storms, especially west of town. Got Doppler 9000, watching some storms to our north and west already. Show you those, and of course, check ahead on the Futurecast. We'll try to pinpoint that timetable for today's storms a little bit better. Right now, over to Olga. She's got time-saver traffic.
Well, taking a look at our camera view here, our traffic camera view, we do have the left lane blocked on I-95 at 495, just as you hit that 395 area. So that's going to be in place for about the next hour or so. Looks like we have very light volume around most of the Beltway, and things are fine headed in on the arteries Route 50 and I-270. Mike?
Thank you, Olga. It is time for the First Your Money segment this morning. Tuesday, another positive day on Wall Street. The rally extended. The S&P 500 managed to inch closer to a record high, which was set back in July.
The Nasdaq also impressed, setting another 14-year record following Monday's rally. Let's check the numbers. The Dow added nearly 81 points. The S&P 500 gained about 10, and the Nasdaq closed up more than 19 points.
Well, Apple had a fruitful day on Wall Street. It finished the day at $100.53 per share, which is a record for the company since the stock split 7-for-1 back in June. Analysts say the iPhone is the reason. iPhone sales shot up 13% over last year, and the iPhone 6 is coming out soon, which could mean yet another boost.
Former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer and the new owner of the Los Angeles Clippers announced he's stepping down from his seat on Microsoft's board. Ballmer's exit from the board of directors comes 1 year after he revealed he would step down as CEO following a 13-year run. He attributed his resignation to a multitude of new commitments.
McDonald's coffee is piping hot. We know that's so hot, though, it's going to be flying off grocery store shelves soon. The fast food giant announced it is joining forces with Kraft to sell its McCafe brand in stores. Single-serve K-Cups for Keurig machines will also be available. The coffee is expected to be in grocery stores sometime in 2015. Find out why certain anti-inflammatory drugs like aspirin may help protect certain breast cancer patients. We'll explain this coming up in this morning's Health Alert.
Plus, heat and humidity remain in the forecast again today. Find out when you can expect the next round of summer storms. We'll have your First Alert forecast in just 2 minutes.
Helping you plan your day. WUSA 9's First Alert Weather.
4:43 on this Wednesday morning. Howard talked about a stray shower that's kind of evaporated. We don't have to worry too much today. Yellow alert maybe tomorrow or Friday?
Possibly tomorrow, possibly Friday. It's borderline right now. We're monitoring it. It's one of those things where you just want to wait a little bit longer to see the data, but we're leaning toward having yellow alerts tomorrow and Friday. And Proper will probably pull the trigger on that for the afternoon and evening broadcast. This morning, though, I want to start with Doppler 9000, showing you some storms I'm tracking in Ohio and Pennsylvania and even northern West Virginia near Morgantown. If your travels take you toward The Berg, as my Pittsburgh friends like to call it. The Berg today, yeah, you're going to run into that, I think, at times this morning. Even here, our threat's going to be later this afternoon. We'll take you north and west. By the way, there's an isolated shower between Lynchburg and Charlottesville right now, which is moving northeast, but that's about the only thing going on in Virginia. Look at all this weather from Pittsburgh west into eastern Ohio. Some thunderstorms here. Trying to get in, here's I-68, trying to get into Garrett County. So we're going to watch that potentially over the next half hour. That's all that's going on with any significant weather. Locally, it's a quiet morning in D.C., but the afternoon does have that threat for thunderstorms, mainly west of us. It's going to be very warm and humid today with 83 by lunchtime, upper 80s to even near 90 in a few spots for the high today, and that would actually be above average. Average is 86 now. We haven't done that a lot this summer. Not a bad thing. Storms west by 3, 4 o'clock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock would be the better chance, I think, for some thunderstorms closer to us, and then could see a leftover shower at 8 p.m. And I mention that because the Nationals going for win number 9 in a row tonight against the Diamondbacks. Slim chance of a shower early, 84 at 7 down to 79 by 9 for the latter innings. So again, weather should be fine for tonight's ball game. Temperatures, they're way up. Remember all these storms here? Look what they're feeding on. Columbus is 77 at this hour of the morning. That's warm, that's energetic. So those storms are surviving overnight. 60s in Williamsport. We don't have the 40s and 50s anymore. Well, we've got locally 60s and 70s. Bowie, one of the cooler spots at 63 with 70 now in Springfield and Dulles, 71 over in Philemont, 70 in Manassas and Bull Run this morning, and to the east, North Beach at 65 degrees. Outside that Michael and Son weather camera, well, we're zoomed in on the Jefferson Memorial this morning, but it's a quiet morning, partly cloudy, 73. Dew points have come down a little from yesterday, but they're still in the 60s, so it is a little bit on the muggy side. This is a storm system. I talked about this yesterday, spinning on the Great Lakes. Yesterday it was here on western Lake Superior. Today it's in the eastern part of Lake Superior. That's not a lot of movement, and it's still going to spin, throw some energy our way. And you see the storms this morning that are firing in Pittsburgh, back through Columbus, coming out of Kentucky. This line in the Appalachians, I think we'll have a tough time surviving. Certainly the Futurecast breaks it apart here during the morning hours, but as we go through the day, maybe not much going on by lunchtime, but watch what happens by 3:30. Now the whole Shenandoah Valley down I-81 looking at these storms, which are going to try to move toward us. They'll get real close, our western suburbs by 6 o'clock, and this certainly could be on top of D.C. as well. And then as we head into the nighttime hours, the loss of heating, these storms collapse. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to pop storms, and again, we'll watch them develop first to our north and west and then move over toward us for the afternoon and evening. And then on Friday, potentially an even better chance for some showers around. I got tickets to the Nats game Friday night. I don't want to hear that either. We've got these showers here by Friday. And so we got to watch these situations for the potential for yellow alert days. So it just depends on how much of this activity is going to be right in on top of the metro. And that's why I'm thinking we may be going there. 88 today at the afternoon storms, mainly west, although even in D.C. we got to watch them through early evening. 65 to 70 tonight. 88 tomorrow, the afternoon storms. 85 Friday, more showers. Potential storm or 285. Saturday, a few leftover showers around 80, but I'm thinking it'll be all right for the ball games at night. The Redskins-Ravens game in Baltimore, and then Sunday looks real pleasant with a high around 80. Here's Olga now with time-saver traffic, and right now that's fairly pleasant.
It has been quiet this morning. Crews are working naturally. I want to tell you about a construction zone. This one is northbound on I-95 in the Lorton area. They're only blocking the 2 left lanes there. However, volume is really light, so it hasn't been too much of a problem this morning. Further north on I-95, you will find some more construction a little bit closer here on the Beltway, predominantly as you head into 395. That little interchange there, we have 2 lanes blocked on the right side. Also on the inner loop of the Beltway, we're losing the left lane on southbound 95 as you head over toward Alexandria. Now let's take a look at our view outside. Well, it's been fairly quiet on 495 I-95. This is the view right about near Branch Avenue. You can see a pretty steady flow of traffic. These are the outer loop lanes here. Inner loop lanes are moving well to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Mike, Andrea.
Thanks, Olga. WUSA 9 wants to help you find the best and get worst gas prices in the area. This morning we head to Rockville, Maryland, where the most expensive gallon of regular unleaded is at the Exxon on Twin Brook Parkway. There it'll cost you $3.79 a gallon, according to AAA's Mid-Atlantic website. The cheapest gallon of gas, Liberty Station on Rockville Pike. Gas there, $3.29.
In this morning's Health Alert, a University of Texas professor makes a medical breakthrough. Her findings are published in the journal Cancer Research. Her team found aspirin and other painkillers may reduce breast cancer recurrence. Dita Payton spoke to her about what this could mean for countless women.
I think the hardest part was telling my family and my mom. That was the hardest part.
Sarah Geis fights back tears as she talks about the day she found out she had breast cancer. She was just 23.
And just having to call and let them know that, you know, I'm about to do this fight.
I'm just going to look at myself just
to help patients like Sarah and those who are overweight. These UT graduate students are working on several studies.
We need to not just be thinking about, okay, we just give more drug to the patient. If they're bigger, we just give them more drug. We need to try and understand what's driving obesity-induced breast cancer.
Professor Linda DeGraffenreid's research on the benefit of aspirin is grabbing national attention.
I suffer from headaches, so I take Advil or Aleve, and so that could be a huge step, you know, for reoccurrence.
Inflammation is oftentimes associated with activation of what we call the COX-2 pathway. And so when you take aspirin, when you take ibuprofen, when you take Aleve, all of those, the way that they're working is to suppress COX-2.
DeGraffenreid explains the COX-2 enzyme can make people resistant to chemo and radiation therapy.
And if you can suppress that, that's where you get the benefit.
In her study, obese patients who weren't taking painkillers like aspirin had a 12% recurrence rate, but those who were only saw a 6% recurrence.
I think I was probably as surprised as anyone when it came back with as dramatic an effect as what we saw.
DeGraffenreid's next step would be a clinical trial.
DeGraffenreid says her team will know in October if the Department of Defense will fund their clinical trial. If so, it will be up and running in June of 2015.
4:50 now. Elderly people often struggle for a good night's sleep, and there's a new study that has found a possible explanation. Researchers say a group of neurons act as a sleep switch in the brain, and older people and Alzheimer's patients start to lose those neurons, which damages the quality of their sleep. The study in the journal Brain finds that people in their 70s sleep about 1 hour less each night than people in their 20s.
4:51, time for the first look at our question of the morning. Researchers say this is the single most persuasive word you can use at work.
Is it A, please, B, urgent, or C, yeah? Post your guesses and comments on our Facebook fan page. We'll have the answer in our 6 a.m. hour. Coming up on 5 o'clock, we'll be right back.
Keeping your family safe. WUSA 9's First Alert Weather.
4:54. Watching for the threat of some showers and storms later this afternoon and this evening. This morning, muggy, 60s and 70s, 75 by 9 o'clock. Lunchtime, it's going to be warm, low 80s already. Then our attention is going to focus out west into the mountains and the Shenandoah Valley as we head toward 3 o'clock. Look at those storms lining up from Hagerstown to Harrisonburg, coming out of the Shenandoah Valley toward the Blue Ridge. And then by late afternoon, they're going to approach D.C.'s metro area with highs today in the mid to the upper 80s. Olga.
Well, it's definitely been a quiet morning out on the roadways, a few construction zones, but you can see here at the Route 29 Colesville Road at the Beltway, traffic's flowing well. We do have one construction zone on the inner loop of the Beltway, south side in Springfield. Andrea?
The Ice Bucket Challenge, it has become a social media sensation and a philanthropic powerhouse. A lot of people around here have done it. Derek and Doffer. The ALS Association has seen a huge increase in donations as well as awareness. On Tuesday, our own CBS Powerhouse Face the Nation host Bob Schieffer took the challenge right in front of our studios.
So.
1, 2, 3.
He's so graceful. Look at that.
Heavens.
It's cold.
It's really cold.
Like how cold?
It is so cold.
It's ice cold.
It's ice cold.
Now, Leslie, you have to admit, he did it in his suit. We did it with our clothes. And he's also wearing his watch, ring, everything still.
He is. He's so graceful.
$100 for this one.
You did?
Yes.
Well, you know what? We want to know because as part of this, you have to challenge somebody, and you are ready to challenge somebody.
Well, I accepted your challenge, and simultaneously with your challenge, Kaylee Hartung, my old assistant, who's now a reporter at ESPN, also challenged me, so I had no choice but to accept. So I want to challenge on behalf of ALS, and I intend to make a contribution, and I want to challenge David Rhodes, who is the president of CBS News, and I can't resist also Scott Pelley.
And you know what? If they want to come
So we'll see if Scott Pelley and David Rose accept Bob Schieffer's challenge, and we'll keep you updated on that.
And this has not only turned into, as we said, to a phenomenon, but wow, what an effective way of raising money for the charity.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about it and saying, why not us? Why not us? But what do all the hashtags and hoopla mean to someone who's actually living with ALS every day? Deborah Alfarone introduces us to a man who defies all odds.
The more people that know about it, the better.
I think it's good for publicity, but some do it just to do it.
Far before the splashes, way before the hashtags, almost 20 years ago, Steve Nichols of Clifton, Virginia, was diagnosed with ALS.
The saddest part of this has been for me, it robbed us of a dream. You know, there's no more dreams. When you're told this, there's no more dream. You're just trying to survive.
Steve can't walk, can't speak, can't eat, and can't breathe on his own. But Steve can see, and he almost always sees the bright side.
I'm very fortunate to have a wife that stuck by me and cares for me.
He makes it look easy, but it's not. It's attitude. He is always happy. He never complains about himself.
Never. Because, and here's a dose of perspective, Steve and Helene say they're blessed to have so much.
You folks that are doing these challenges, you're helping to fund the coffers. You can fund things that will make life easier. Wheelchairs, computers that make life worth living for someone with ALS. No one does it alone. No one.
I challenged Deborah and Jeff to the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Really, Steve? For you? Oh. Okay, what do you think, Jeff? Jeff's behind the camera. He's not saying anything. All right, I will. So, Jeff, do you accept this challenge?
I do.
Okay, I do too. We're going to do this for Steve. All right, Steve, only for Steve would we do this.
Here we go.
Ready? One, two, three.
Oh. I now nominate Chris Riley, Chi Wu, Scott Bassford, and Dion Wiggins.
Oh, and Dion Wiggins. And I, of course, nominate our big boss, Channel 9's news director, Fred D'Ambrosi. Please don't fire me. Why do we do these things? For you, Steve, Deborah Alfarone, WUSA 9 with Jeff Cridlin. Woo.
They were talking about what the money is going to do. I was just reading that they've raised a total of $22.9 million, 12 times the amount raised last year.
Fantastic.
Good for them.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
And for computers and healthcare items and wheelchairs.
And the research.
And the research.
Yep,
it's great.
Good morning, and thank you for watching WUSA 9 News at 5 a.m. I'm Andrea Roan.
Glad you're with us. I'm Mike Heidick. Olga Breeze is doing traffic this week for Monica, who's on vacation. Howard Bernstein. Let's talk a little heat. It's coming back.
Yeah, temps in the 80s, well into the 80s.